Hey folks, I'm Pete and this is Pete's Eats Cooking Videos. Today we're going to take normal everyday carrots. I know you must go to the grocery store and buy your meal and then you think, well, I need a veggie so I might as well pick up carrots. We're going to take these carrots and we're going to make them so magnificent they're going to be the best dish on the table. So let's begin! So here's what you're going to need to make these magnificent carrots. They're caramelized carrots. You need carrots, obviously. Now, don't go all hog wild. You don't have to buy the carrots with the long tops on them. I have a friend who's a farmer. He says it makes absolutely no difference. Just buy your regular carrots in a bag. Even the bigger ones that you're kind of afraid to use because they're kind of really big and chunky, you can cut them up into pieces. Salt, sugar, a little bit of butter, and a little bit of white wine. That's all you need. It's going to be delicious, trust me. Okay, I'm going to cut these carrots up into fairly large chunks. Now they're peeled, you'll notice. You don't have to peel them, you could just scrub them. Apparently that's healthier, it's up to you. Anyway, fairly large chunks, so the big ones just in half, small ones just in half, the bigger ones maybe into three. You can even cut the bigger chunks in half like that. I have 9 carrots here. Don't be shy because you'll see people will gobble these up. Okay, all the ingredients are going to be in the bottom bar of the video. So here I'm just going to spice them up a bit. I'm going to take a little bit of salt. I'm guessing probably about a half to a quarter tablespoon of salt. I'm going to take a nice a good tablespoon, healthy tablespoon of butter. I'm going to take about a half teaspoon of sugar. Just a half teaspoon would be fine, just a bit to get that caramelization going. And then some water, or I like to use white wine. So I'm going to use some white wine, but you could just as well use water. And about a cup of white wine. And there you go. The key to this recipe again is the 2-step process. The first step is I'm going to cover them up and I'm going to get them boiling to steam up the carrots so that they get softened. And after that, I'm going to drive all the liquid off, and the second step is to sort of fry them in the butter and get them caramelized so they're absolutely delicious. So that's the 2 steps that are involved in making these carrots fabulous. Okay, so now I've put them on a fairly high heat and I want to get this boiling, so we steam up the carrots. How long you steam them really depends on how soft you like your carrots. Of course, you could eat them raw if you wanted to, but most people like them softened up a bit. I like them a little bit on the hard side. So this is now boiling. It's coming along nicely. Just stir them up a bit. Again, it depends upon how soft you want them. These are all still very hard. It's been about 5 minutes, so they need at least another 5 minutes or so to soften up a bit. I'm going to put the top back on. If you need to, you can add more liquid. If you had to add more liquid, I would add water at this point. In terms of the pot that you use to make these carrots, I've got them in a big pot with a fairly thick bottom, but you can use a big frying pan if you want. You can use a really thick, like a Le Creuset kind of type pot. You don't want anything really too thin, because if it's too thin, when we get to the caramelization process, they might burn, so you got to be careful. Okay, these have softened up enough for me. Again, I like them a little bit on the hard side, and you can see that most of the liquid has evaporated off. And I'm ready to start caramelizing these. So I'm just going to let them continue to go, close them up, and possibly add a little tiny bit of water, but not yet. Okay, so I have the stove on the medium, sort of the high side of medium, in between medium and high on my burner. You can see they're starting to darken up nicely. Don't be worried about it. You know, some people get worried when they see them darken up. It's absolutely exactly what you want. Just keeping an eye on them, stirring them up. We're almost there. We're almost there. There you go. There's magnificent caramelized carrots. You know what I love about this recipe? It's an icon for what the recipes I love to make. Taking something so simple and just giving it a little bit of attention and making it absolutely fabulous. I promise you there'll be none left on the plate if you make these. Enjoy.